Where did the name Stallard Kane come from?
Well, that's yet another interesting one, really. You see, mine and his surname is Stallard Kane. In 1966, my dad was in his 20s. He had a car accident. He was only in his 20s. He had a car accident, broke one rib, bit of bone, sort of flooded and got into his heart, stopped his heart when he was 25, 26. This was before I was born. Mum was sort of 7, 8 months pregnant with me. And, it's interesting because I was talking to her only the other week about it, and she said to me, back in the day, bearing in mind, there was no mobile phones, there was no phones. So her husband had died. She lived in Derby. Her husband had died, and she was living in Derby, and she had to write to her dad, who lived in Gainsborough, on Japan Road. Yeah, you'll not know where that is. But no, she had to write to him and say, look, my husband's died. Richard, his name was, class name. Can you come fetch me? So she had to wait in Derby for him to come. Anyway, but that's by the way. So that happened. And then I was born. They call it Black Friday. and so I was born, and, my mum got married again when I was about 18 months to someone called Kane, and, who I would call my dad. And he brought me up as my dad. Mm-hmm. And I think do you know what? And now when I think about things, and there's all this thing, blood and everything else, for me, anybody can be a father, but it takes somebody to be a dad. And it doesn't have to necessarily to be blood to be a dad.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's quite a good message to sort of communicate.
Yeah.
So he took me on, brought me up, kicked me about a bit. Not necessarily that. He had this slipper. He would leave the slipper outside the door. If the slipper was there, you're not coming down. And, so he sort of but I felt quite an allegiance to what I would call my dad. So I dropped the name Stallard, and I went all the way through school as Richard Kane, and even now, Richard Kane. Mm. And, then when we went to look to set the business up as Stallard Kane Associates, couldn't decide what to call it. There was a holly bush in the front garden. We was going to call it Holly Bush Health and Safety, believe it or not. And, went to see this marketing company.
Why not?
Yeah. Went to see this marketing company and said, why don't you call it Stallard Kane Associates? It sounds bigger. And I went, oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So it come from that, because it sounds like a professional company.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds very corporate. Sounds corporate.
But that's how it started. So that's where the Stallard Kane sort of brand came from. We had it all done. But again, I had it done professionally, or me and Isma had it done professionally. So it looked professional from the start. We set up doing it professionally and continued until, we sold it in 2022.
I know.
So.
You mentioned in the introduction about a failed business. Would you like to expand on that?
Not really. That one. It's K recruitment. You know what? That sometimes something's too good to be true, and you think, okay, and it really was. So we got offered a recruitment company in Spalding, mainly supplying field workers into the factories and to all these big companies over there. And in my simple mind, I'm thinking health and safety, employment law, recruitment. Yeah, same thing, isn't it? So, we took this recruitment business, bought it, took it on. Now, what I didn't realize is with recruitment, you might have, one day you might have 3 employees. The next day you might have 150 employees. And you have to do what's called factoring, which is basically you sell the debt to the bank. So they know you're going to get the money. So basically to pay the wages, you borrow the money from the bank, they buy that sort of debt off you, and they chase the money and get it in. So anyway, it was going along, and I could never get my head round whether we was making money, losing money, because there was money, they owed money. I was like, couldn't get my head round it.
Yeah.
We had a different general manager at the time, wasn't Carl, it was somebody else, and it sort of slid away with him, but I still blame Carl for it, because Carl's the general manager, so it doesn't matter who you want there or not. I still, well, he was a general, so then we got up to about 50, 60,000 with this one company. And, that company knew that we sell the debt to the bank, but the bank have a cut-off point, and they don't keep lending you money. So the stopped us and said, look, you need to get this debt in. You need to get it in. So I rung, couldn't get through to the financial guy. I rang again. And in the end, I thought, it was 4 a.m. I thought, do you know what? I'm off for my money. So I got up. He says, where are you going? I said, I'm off to Spalding's to get my money. She went, really? I went, yeah. In my mind, I'm driving in and I'm going straight in and I'm going to say, right, I want my money. So, I drove and it was a big car. I'm not going to mention the company because I don't think it's right. But anyway, gets to they had gates, big gates with security. I was like, oh, okay, what am I going to do here? So I get to the gate. I went, Richard Kane, SK Recruitment, NEC financial guy knows I'm coming. He opened the gates. Bingo. So I'm in. so I get in. So I goes into reception and, I go to the desk and I says, oh, it's, Richard Kane, SK Recruitment, Kane Solid financial guy. I'm sat in reception and I am not leaving until I get my money. And I sat down. And I sat down on this, in the thing and I waited. An hour went, 2 hours went. I was like, oh, bloody hell. But I'm not going to give in. I'd been there. I'd still be there now. You know, there's a principal here, isn't there? Yeah. So anyway, I sat there and then all of a sudden this other guy walked in, went, signed in, come and sat down. I went, oh yeah. He went, oh, hello. I said, all right. I went, yeah. I said, what are you doing here? Oh, I said, I've come to sell them to I went, I'll tell you what, mate, get in your car. They don't pay you. That's why I'm sat here. And with that, I saw the woman behind reception pick the phone up. And this guy come running down the stairs. Is your name Richard Kane? I went, yeah. He said, you need to come outside. I was thinking, oh shit, I'm not much of a fighter. I could have done with you with me.
Yeah.
So I went outside. He said, that's totally unreasonable, what you've done. Coming here, banging on the desk, making me want to pay you money. You loan that money from the bank. I said, look, I'll stop you there. I'm at capacity. You owe the money. We've done the work. Pay your bills. He said, you'll get paid. You'll get paid now, but you'll never ever work for this company again. I said, I won't work for your company again. I said, in fact, take that back because I'm not working for your company ever again. I said, I'm not. I said, I'll never work for your company again. So we had a few words and, got in my car. Thought, yeah, check the bank was in. Right, done. Bingo. They've got the money. Jeez. So anyway, gets in the car, chest pumped. Like, I've got this money. So rings the recruitment, manager up at the time. Again, we'd rented these big offices in Spalding and, anyway, but I'll talk about it in a minute. So I rung her and I went, right. I said, I've got our money in. We're back in business. I said, but you'll never work for that company again. Phone went silent. I went, what's the matter? She says, it's our biggest client. I went, well, that's not my problem, is it? You're going to have to find another one. Put the phone down. You know, I was talked about people are the key and I'm like, what? So I put the phone down and, it was a bit of a slippery slope through there after that. I didn't owe anybody anything. I lie. Taxman, probably a bit, you know. Yeah. And when it went down the pan, and you know, I'm not embarrassed. You know, it didn't go right. We had insolvencies in for this recruitment. We folded it. And you know what? It's leveler really because Stallard Kane was such a success. Shows you it don't always work. And when you have to do a company through insolvency, you have to go and you swear on a Bible. I don't know if you know this. Hopefully you never have to go there, but you swear on a Bible and then they sit you in this room. So anybody that you owe money to can come and challenge you. So you know when you get an insolvency letter, it'll tell you the details on there. He said, don't worry. He said, no one will come. You just owe a bit of, thing it was. And you know what? Particularly in Stallard Kane's time in the early days, talk about VAT. I was on first name terms with the VAT man. Well then, Richard, how are you going to pay this bit? Anyway, I went down for a bit of VAT and I sat in this room and I said, God, so I bet it gets a bit agitating here. He says, God, yeah, this is sometimes we have to have people on the door and police and bean and all sorts.
Blimey.
So, you know, it didn't go right. This is probably 10 years ago, but it's still Carl's fault. Right. Even though, you know, everything's Carl's fault.
So, is
that's the failed business.
Wow. Okay. Let's get on to Gainsborough Trinity. What's your experience with, as chairman of Gainsborough Trinity?
Did it for 10 years. Don't like football. No, I don't like football, but I certainly don't know. But what happened was, I mean, I left for a variety of reasons. Sold the business. I'd done it for 10 years. I still say, you know, you probably didn't see it before. You certainly did. I think it looks better after I've been there for 10 years, from the outside looking in. What a roller coaster. I think, the thing that you need to know about a football club more than anything when you're running one is everybody that works there, same principles, you know, people stop, talk to people and everything else. But everybody that works there, directors, people on the gates, people selling the raffle tickets, all volunteers. You know, at Stallard Kane, you'd have a meeting, you say, we're going to do this, this, this and this. And you delegate people to do this, this, this and this. And hopefully they go this, this and this. When you're running a community football club, everyone's a volunteer. Same ethos, you know, talk to everyone nice and everything else, but you've got to be a little bit different with them, because you can't say do this, because, you know, they're just volunteers. Did 10 years, you know, I enjoyed some of it. I wanted to tell you this very, very quick life as a chairman story, just one, because I think I could tell you so many. Get Matt Bowles in, he will tell you lots of stories. But this particular day, I know it sounds a bit morbid, this, but I've been to a funeral in, I was in the Ingram Arms at Lawton, which is where I live, and it was after the service, and the vicar's there. And Trinity, as always, was struggling for points near the bottom. And I went over to see him. I said, "Hey, Mark, all right?" And yeah, and we got Harrogate the next day, Harrogate Town, which were in the leagues down. Just to give you an idea, at the time, Trinity was spending £3,500 a week on players. They were spending 35. We haven't won there for years. So I went over, saw the vicar, Mark his name is. He sometimes went to the football. I said, "Hey, mate, all right?" Yeah. I said, "Couldn't do us a favour, could you?" He went, "Well, I'll try. What is it?" I said, "Would you have a word with your mate?" I said, "We're playing Harrogate tomorrow." And I said, "Yeah, just have a word with your mate upstairs, see if he can get us a result. We're really struggling for points." He went, "No, Richard." He says, "I will." He says, "When you get that result," he said, "I want to see you at church on Sunday." I said, "I'll take it." And I shook his hand. And we went to Harrogate. This is just one story. We went to Harrogate and we bloody won. We won 2-1. Couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh my God, we've won."
Did you?
Yeah, but guess worse. So anyway, it was February. Anybody that's religious will know this. It was what was called Candlemas. Because I thought it was a bit hard. I'm wrong. I said, "Oh, Mark, thanks ever so much for having a word with your mate." So we won. I've only blessed the picture as well, but that's another story. And I said, "What time do we meet there?" He says, 1 o'clock. I thought, church starts at 10. So I said to Isma, I said, now Isma's involved now, right? "Isma, we're off to church tomorrow." "What do you mean?" "Well, we won at football." "Long story, but we've got to go to church because we've got to go." "We haven't been to church yet." "Well, we are. We've got to go." So I went to church. It was Candlemas, which is the end of the Christmas period in February. Went on for 4.5 hours. I'm carrying these candles around for 3 points. Points, the things you do, you know. But, you know, I had a good time. I enjoyed it. There's lots of highs, lots of lows. It's a financial burden, you know, at the end of the day. I did what I did. I don't want to take any credit for what financial support I gave it, but I gave it financial support. It was good at the time when we had Stallard Kane. It sort of helped with certain things at Stallard Kane. We went on, set up Games Trinity Foundation, which is a registered charity bit. I had big visions for that. We got, we had the 3G pitch put in with £1 million. Got that funded. What disappointed me, very disappointed me, and I still disappointed disappoints me to the day, is the stakeholders. I'm not going to mention any names, but, you know, work it out yourself. I had a bid in, I'd paid out mine and his money to have a development done down there. £1 million. Development was going to really, we set off with a vision, me and Damo, who was also involved with the foundation, to make that the best footballing facility in Lincolnshire. And I don't think we was far off, to be honest, because the pitches changed, the 3G, we paid extra. Sorry, me and Issa, we paid extra to have it all covered in. You normally see 3G and it's all open.
Yeah.
And we put this bid in for this extension. Again, it's going to be nearly £1 million. Invited the stakeholders to come and say, "Look, you know, we're doing a presentation. Joe Public, come and have a look," because there was issues with the car park. Again, stakeholders want to help us with the car park. Parking down there is a nightmare. I asked. There's problems with the sand-based pitch. I asked for help. There's no help. And I said, "Right, everybody come down. I want to talk about this." Jeremy turned up, 0. not one. And I just thought, you know what? What am I trying to do here? You know, you're not getting any support. Me and Isba pumped money into that place to get it up and running.
Yeah.
The 3G, you know, we had to put quite a lot into that. You would never get to that stage without somebody putting the money in.
Yeah.
And we did, and with the intention of getting the money back when the funding come in, we left the money in, and, you know, but I put my heart and soul into it, but there comes a point in your life where you just think.
So, Richard,
Yeah.
we ask everybody this question.
Okay.
But what are your interests and hobbies currently?
Well, I'm taking up beekeeping. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
We have seen a bit of that.
Never miss an opportunity. Never miss an opportunity. All the way flying in from Lawton is beeline honey.
Oh,
So don't worry, I've got two.
Thank
But
you very much.
I like that
Excellent.
honey. And we've also, because I always have to do stuff that's, I don't know why, but on the back is a packet of seeds. It says, join our mission to save the bees. So in there is some seeds that you have to plant to save. But they look very professional, don't they?
Yeah, they look amazing.
Show that on camera.
They look
Yeah,
very
yeah,
professional.
yeah.
It,
That's nice.
So I worked it out because I put it because I've started a Facebook page being
Is
like
that
that. You haven't noticed, I'm pleased you haven't noticed, but I went in the other day and can you not see? I've got,
No, no,
I
no,
look a bit like Elephant Man on this side. It's,
Oh,
you're not
okay.
there. Would you know who John Merrick is?
no.
You would, wouldn't you? John Merrick, Elephant Man.
Oh, yeah.
So so there's two. There's one each, boys, for complimenting
Thank
me and his
you.
record.
Oh,
very
thank you
much.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. You know, it become a bit of a.
Apparently, you're supposed to, if you're going to have honey, you're supposed to have it from locally. aren't
You are. It's good for hay fever.
Yeah.
And it's also good for if you've got infections and stuff. Rub it on.
Is it something to do with the bees locally?
Yeah, it's supposed to be good because it's from the local flowers
yeah.
and everything else like that. So
Yeah.
I'm doing that. We've got about 300 jars this year, which is quite a lot.
Yeah, sounds a lot.
67 kilograms of honey. I worked it out if I'd have sold it all at £7 a jar, which you can get from the florist, Tony Arbour's, the Meatery, the Dandelion and Duck. So I'll get that in there.
Franco's.
Franco's, yeah.
Boxing club.
Yeah, the boxing club. If we'd have sold all the jars, which would have brought us about 2,100 quid, we'd have still only been 3,000 in debt. I think I must spend. I don't know, I hope was not watching it. No, I think we probably spent about 4 or 5 grand on stuff. But
Yeah.
it's year one, isn't it? It's year one. It's year
Yeah,
one.
you don't
And
expect
you know I'm going to be selling it in Tesco's, don't you? It's not like, innit? Like big mass production, and like beeline honey on Tesco.
That's good.
I've been watching your videos, and I absolutely love it. My favourite video that I've watched, no joke, about 6-7 times, is where you scrape the thing,
yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
I
You needed
would
it.
love to do that.
Come and do it.
It's so satisfying just watching. I'm like, I'd love to give that a go.
Come and do it next year.
Yeah,
That's
we
it.
should go down actually and just
Yeah,
film a bit.
do it. Yeah,
That's it.
alternative podcast. So cars. Let's do cars and bees.
There you go.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cars and bees. So yeah, you know, that's a bit about. You know, I've done a bit of an overview of where I've been, what I've done.
And what you're up to now with bees and grandsods?
Yeah, grandsods. You know, I'm sure they do it on purpose because I don't know how many we've got, but I'm sure the kids just have another grandsod just so they can drop it off and irritate me. Honestly, the one that's doing the boxing, Stan, and his mum dropped him off. He was about 6-7 months. She says, "Oh, we'll have him for a weekend." Well, I go out. She was only in her 20s then. I went, yeah, we'll have him for a weekend. 23 years later, he's still coming every weekend. Every weekend. But yeah, that's, I enjoy a bit of fitness. I walk, do a bit.
Keep yourself busy.
Yeah, just do, don't you? You can soon fill your time. It doesn't. It makes you think, how did I have time to do other stuff? You know, people say that when they're semi-retired, but you know, I've got lots to do. Places to go, places to see.
What 3 key elements would you give to a younger person who's like, I want to do this, but I'm not sure?
Well, don't be put off. Just go for it. You know there's a saying, they can't take these off. You know, things don't always go right. Have a go. Stallard Kane's might not have gone right. The times I pulled in at the side of the road, rung Isma and said, "Look, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to have to get a job." You know, and this is in the early days when we had no money. You know, the kids was coming round. We was going to, on a Friday where the kids would come round, I was going to Lidl's and buying 3 tins of hot dogs and a couple of loaves of bread. You could feed 4 or 5 kids on that, you know, without it being. And we didn't have a kitchen when we first moved in. The oven was like that. If you put pizza on, all the pizza toppings used to slide off. When you got one, you'd scrape it all. What's this? Oh, it's a special pizza. It'd be like that. Just mix it all back in, chuck it on a plate and eat it. It's only kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose, you know, just try to go with what you think. Never think, oh, should I, shouldn't I? Yeah, do it. You know, what you got to lose. It's particularly if you're young. You know, I think it's different when you get into your... No one would think I was in my 50s, but when you get into your 50s, you've got to think a little bit different. But yeah, you're not necessarily your age, but younger people, have a go. You know,
Because-
it might not always work.
Because you get... Now, I feel like I'm experiencing this from the young... Like, I'm 29, but even when I'm speaking to, like, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, they just think about going into a job. And when I'm like, would you want to do a business? And they all say, yeah. But then they're like, they're scared to do it.
Yeah, you're always going to have an element of worried, scared, apprehension. It's getting over that.
You dares.
Yeah, there is an element of that. But if you've got a niche and you think that niche is special, and you think you can sell that, and you think you can deliver that, and you can deliver it good, do it. You know, and don't whatever you do, don't focus on money, because if you become focused on money, you lose direction. You know, don't think, oh, I'm going to get a Lamborghini or whatever. It's not about that. Just if you're going to do well, the other things will come. Just concentrate on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And just get there.
Any business, there is elements of sales and marketing. How important are they for a business?
It's key, isn't it, really? But just flashing back to the early days of Stallard Kane, when we talk about marketing and stuff, Yellow Pages. Yeah, but do you know what Yellow Pages is?
I do know. I do.
We did when we was kids, didn't we? Who can read the Yellow Pages? Saw mine a bit.
Yeah.
And what we used to do, or what we did in them days, to try to get, there weren't many health and safety people back anyway, but we put dots in front, so it was ... Stallard Kane Associates, because S was quite down the list because it was alphabetical. But if you put your dots in, you went to the top. So in answer to your question, you know, the world's moved on tremendously. Social media, TikTok, you know, see a lot of stuff on TikTok. I get dragged into it. You know, you look, you think, oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
Social media, general marketing, getting your name out there, getting your brand out there. You know, there's not enough doors you can kick down, to be honest. Sales and marketing is the key to a successful business, really.
Yeah.
So I speak to people who are small businesses, obviously a bit like how I was with the gym. But I say that you could have a pen, but if you know how to market it, you will always sell it.
Yeah.
And it's just a pen. It might not work, but if you sell 1 million of them at £1, you've made £1 million. But it's about knowing you've got the product. You just need to know how to sell it.
Yeah. And the other thing is people buy off people. I think that's key as well. If you're pleasant, a nice person, and you're easy to get on with, I think I am. Some people probably say I'm not, but after 7 or 8 pints, I'm like, ugh. But people will buy from people. If you walk into a room, I used to go dressed to different appointments, dressed differently. If I was going to see accountants, solicitors, whatever, shirt, tie, suit. If I go to see a builder, I always used to wear a shirt and tie because it's just how I liked it. When I first started, I used to sit in the office for shirt and tie, and I was only doing admin, but I felt like I was at work. Yeah. And I was only doing admin, and there was no one coming to see me, but I put a shirt and tie on because I just felt like work. I will go to see a builder in that, but just put a fleece on. Yeah. You know, so you play to your audience, and I used to also sales side, and I'd sport wise, I'm not that massively in sport, but I'd always read the back pages because if you'd pick something up, someone would say, oh, did you see how Man United go? Oh yeah, such and such scored. I had no idea, I didn't care. But, you know, it's you're talking, aren't you? And that's the key really, is to make sure, you know, that you're on the same level as that individual, and being able to communicate at different levels as well. You know, I think that's important. Being able to go into a factory with a I used to worry about sending younger people that work for Stallard Kane to see managing directors that was in the 50s, 60s or whatever, because would there be a bit of a clash? And actually I was wrong, because they bring different dimensions in.
Yeah.
You know, I thought someone my age, I would like to see someone my age, but actually a younger person will, and Nathan
Just bring a different dynamic to it.
Yeah, it just does. Have you had enough of me yet?
No, not yet. How important is it to learn off somebody who's got the experience in business? So if you're a newbie, is it important to have people surrounding yourself who have got business experience?
I think it's got to help, hasn't it? And again, going back to, there was a thing in Gainsborough Waterside Enterprise Centre, which was Lee Road School, which is now.
Yeah.
And I went there because I wanted an office. I was working from a bedroom. I needed an office, really, because it would make me feel more. And I went down there and they said, yeah, you can rent an office account, 30 quid a week, whatever. I went, yeah, that's fine. Oh, we need to see a business plan before you come in. Sorry? Yeah, well, we need to see. I'm not doing a business plan. What do you mean? I said, I'm not doing one. Well, you can't move in with that one. I said, well, I'll work from home then. So I'll just continue. But I think having things in your mind, business plans, do they work for some people? Maybe. For me, no, not really. I think, I didn't know what I was doing the next day. I still don't.
No.
I still don't.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
But the biggest problem I've got, and talking about, and we didn't really mention this in the podcast, but my attention span's very, very, because in my academic side of stuff, and you ask anybody, like marketing, you talked about marketing, it's Sally who used to head our marketing team at Stallard Kane, and Carl and one or two other, I'd send an email, it could be any time, 9, 10 at night, I didn't ask them to answer, I've got an idea. Every single one of them used to send back in the morning, oh God, what? but attention-wise, in a meeting, you've got me for 20 minutes. That's it, because I can't. And and I used to say to everybody at work, if you're going to send me an email, don't send me like that, because I can't read it. Just give me the headlines. Just tell me what I need to know. Give me the tops. Give me the bottoms. Give me the facts. I'll read it and I'll come back to you. If you send me something like that, I'll just read it and I'll ring you up and say, what you sent me all that for?
I do the same thing.
Yeah, just give me the headlines. Just communicate with me, because it's. I'm good with PC skills now, but I want, because come through school. When we was at school, you didn't do any of this. What was that about?
Yeah.
I did metalwork, but do you know how I learned how to type? I had you'll not remember, Blackberries. I had no choice.
I had one of them.
Blackberry phone. And I bought one because it looked good more than anything.
Yeah.
It looked good in meetings. I like Blackberry on the phone, but it was QWERTY, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the keys were, and it really helped me with learning how to type.
Yeah.
And now I'm all right. But at one time, no chance.
Yeah.
How important is it to have a wife that sticks with you through everything?
100%. That's king. The queen's the queen, isn't she? You've got to have. Without Isma, the football, she put up with a lot. She put up a lot with the football every Saturdays, and day, nights, talking to managers. People think football starts on 3 o'clock on a Saturday and finishes at 5. Oh my God, Saturday, Sundays, talking to the managers, talking to players, trying to sort things out. I come home one day, there's no wine in the fridge, which is, terrible. And it's like, that's because of bloody football. And it probably was, to be fair, because your mind's always on football.
Yeah.
And it's having a solid partner behind you. There's been loads of difficult times. Not as we've always said to each other. Everything went wrong. As long as we're together with the dogs, not too bothered about the kids. But as long as we're together with the dogs, we could live anywhere. We have lived anywhere. We lived in a 2 up, 2 down, and we've now got a nice house. With the rewards of what we've worked towards.
That's good.
But it's really it is. It's very important. You've got an understanding partner.
Yeah.
Really,
Because
really do.
I say this to Lee, but I've been single for 2.5 years, and I just says, I don't think I'll get to where I want to with a person because they don't understand my vision and what I want to do.
Yeah, but you can have a work balance and an out of work balance. You don't have to and wrap everything up in one. You can have both, you know, you don't keep your life separate. I've been very lucky, very fortunate, very understanding with Isma. She sort of gets it, she's worked with it, we work together, we're a team, you know. It's we work together, and to have a husband relationship that works together, you know, it's...
But she supported you in your
100%.
dream and your vision, though.
Yeah, but she's part of that dream and vision, because it's our baby, you know, Stallard Kane. We've now started... Oh, I forgot to mention Isma Homes Limited. We started building houses. Forgot to mention that.
I just forgot that.
Yeah, I forgot to build some houses. I forgot about that, yeah. I won't be doing any more.
You said that like, oh yeah, I've got to pick some beans when I go home.
Yeah.
Pick up a part of milk on my own.
Forgot about that, yeah. So we decided we'd start building houses, Isma Homes Limited. We built one in Brighton, and we're just starting one in Lawton. I doubt I'll be saying this, I doubt I'll build any more. Unless you've got your own brickies, builders, and that work for you, it's not lucrative anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
Again, you're relying on outside sources.
Yeah, it's something to do. You know, we're spending a couple $100,000 on building a house, something to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's not... but we're doing that, and, you know, it's... that we're building houses, so...
Why not?
Why not something to do? So.
There you go. Richard, thank you very, very much for coming on.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's been
welcome.
fascinating, mate. Thanks for coming, yeah.
Yeah, just waffle on too much, I think. But I try to be open and honest with you. You know, just
We've never had a podcast this long.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologise.
I have to do two part.
No, it's fine,
so
mate, it's
long.
fine.
We'll have to do part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
I hope everybody who's watching this, the youngsters, the teenagers, I hope they see your story and get so inspired.
Well, I don't think it's inspiring, is it really? But it's just, you know...
You've shocked me with so much. So, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hey, thanks, Rich.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to steal your mint.
Yeah, they're for you anyway.